Well, hey, I'm HalfMetalFox, and it seemed like you guys liked my last compound bow build video, so I figured I would update it and bring it on back. And don't get me wrong, I am going to go further in depth about the compound bow, but this video is really just going to be about the build in general, because this build, this unstable bomber build, is nasty. And I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time explaining this. I'll just say like and subscribe if you enjoy Once Human content, or if you just want to help your boy make it to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And with that, we are now on to the compound bow. If you didn't know, the compound bow is Once Human's strongest bow. And if you've saved up 8,000 star crown from doing your missions and such, you can just go on over to the wish machine and buy this bad boy. Now, of course, once I bought it, I went ahead and I beefed it up. I made it calibration plus 10, and I also enhanced the blueprint. Once I did that, it was all about the mod farming, and I landed on this one. I could have farmed for a little bit better attribute effects, but this really worked for what I had going. And because this bow comes with Unstable Bomber as its ability, we of course need an Unstable Bomber mod. This one makes triggering Unstable Bomber grant Unstable Bomber damage plus 5% for 3 seconds, and the effect can stack up to 6 times. So it just makes the boom a little bit bigger, and who doesn't like that? The compound bow also comes with its own exclusive optic. This just comes with it right when you buy it. You don't have to worry about going to find anything. You can't equip this scope to other weapons, but that doesn't matter because this is the only weapon that you need. And of course, I stuck some tungsten arrows into it so I'd get that extra damage. I'm telling you right now, if you choose this compound bow as your main weapon, you are not going to be sorry. This thing will fly you through the game. But now we got to move on to the second main part of this build, and that is the Desert Eagle 50 Jaws. And what's cool about the Jaws is you can get it the same way you got the compound bow, through the wish machine. Just make sure you're saving up your star crom. Now the Jaws is absolutely nasty just by itself, but let me show you what I did to make it specifically nasty. Now I've actually watched a couple other people's build videos on the Jaws, and it seems to me that most of the time people are just going for crit damage, crit damage, crit damage. But something that I've actually found works better for me, and I'll explain more in a moment, is running with more crit rate. So I changed the calibration attributes to be portable style. It makes me a lot faster when I'm using the weapon, and switching over to my crossbow is 50% faster. But the reason that I went with crit rate instead of crit damage is because of this mod, and that's Reckless Bomber Talents. And its core effect is for every 1% crit rate, Unstable Bomber gets a damage boost of 0.5%. And since I have such high crit rate, you can imagine that the Unstable Bomber Blast does a lot more damage. I also tried to focus magazine capacity with the Desert Eagle 50 because it only has 8 shots in its standard magazine. So that's when we switch to the accessories. Now, just like the compound bow, the Jaws is going to come with an exclusive muzzle. And yes, you can't equip this to other weapons, but again, you don't really need to. I also went with the compact reflex sight, which you can actually just buy from Severin in the settlements. And that was mainly for the aiming speed and stability. I went with the integrated laser sight, which you can get from the riddle spots. And that was just for accuracy and aiming speed. But then we had the big one, the extended pistol mag. And this, along with the bonus attributes that I've already had, is going to add 4 more shots to my magazine capacity. So that puts me at a total of 14 tungsten pistol bullets in a magazine instead of the standard 8. So we've talked about the compound bow and the Jaws, how to get them, what you should put on them, but now we got to move on to the armor. And to start off the first half of this build, we got to talk about the Renegade set. I chose 3 pieces of the Renegade set because of the reload speed, the weak spot damage, and Archer's Focus. Archer's Focus is going to increase my weak spot damage by 4% up to 10 stacks. So a total of 40% extra weak spot damage. And for the mods on the Renegade hood, I chose First Move Advantage Violent. And other than your standard, crit damage, reload speed bonus, attribute effects, it also has a core effect that after I reload, my crit rate is plus 10 and my crit damage is 20% for 2 seconds. Now this core effect works for the Jaws more than it does the compound bow, but it's still an amazing mod overall to put on your helmet. Next up on the mask, I went with Point Detonation Violent, and that's when Unstable Bomber hits only one enemy. The Unstable Bomber final damage is plus 25%. And again, as an Unstable Bomber build, the bigger the boom, the better. Try to find one of these mods rolling with some good damage effects, and it's a winner. And then for the last mod on my Renegade set, I went with Crit Boost, and that's obviously just crit rate plus 15%, which gives you more damage to my Jaws, as you know, but just extra crit rate in general. Some good attribute effects, but yeah, Crit Boost, it's awesome. And now for the other half of this build, which is the Bastille set. And to be honest, even without mods, the Bastille set is disgusting. You get extra weapon damage as long as you're healthy, you get the extra reload speed, and then the big one, if you're staying crouched and immobile for just half a second, you enter Bastille state, which grants you 40% extra weapon damage. Now, upon exiting Bastille state, you can't sprint for 3 seconds and stamina consumption is increased by 100%, but trust me when I tell you, it's worth it. So grab the Bastille set, but we gotta talk about mods now. And to be honest, it was a little difficult finding a good top mod, but I think I did it. And for the Bastille top, I went with Quick Comeback Violent, and that's when using a healing shot, movement speed goes up for 20% for 2 seconds, and it also refills my magazine from my inventory up to 100%. This one's awesome because especially in boss fights, if you end up taking like a big hit and it chunks your health down, then the second you heal, you're faster, you can keep shooting, it's awesome. So that's what I chose for the Bastille top, but you can obviously just choose whichever you want. Moving on, we're going to talk about my super hot Bastille pants. And for the Bastille pants, I chose Bullet Siphon. This one is again a little bit more directed towards the jaws, but weapon damage plus 5%. Every 5 bullets consumed in the magazine grants 4% weapon damage, capped at 20%. So it's really just a weapon damage boost. It's just a good mod with some good attributes, and that's why I put it on my pants. And last up, we're going to talk about the Bastille boots, aka my waffle stompers. And on my waffle stompers, I put Ruthless Reaper Violent. Because after you get 2 kills, you just immediately refill 100% of your magazine from the reserves. So as long as you're shooting and killing, you never have to stop shooting and killing. Tried to find one with a good boost to my magazine and crit damage, and voila. And now I'm sure you guys want to see the battle stats. So I'll go ahead and I'll show you the battle stats for the compound bow and the DE jaws. So obviously you just take a look over these, see if it's something you'd like to do. Check out how much bonus damage I do to common enemies. That was totally on accident. And then just as a quick reminder, don't forget that everything that I've shown in this video can be purchased from the Wish Machine using Starcrom. And you can get Starcrom by doing a variety of different things, whether it's in-game events, surveys, missions, snagging the Starcrom crates from the markets. Just make sure you're saving up because these blueprints can get expensive. Now I'm going to show you what kind of damage you'll be looking at with the training dummy using both the compound bow and the DE50 jaws. And now I'm going to show you just how spicy this thing can be in PvP. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm still relatively new to making Once Human content, but if it helped you, make sure again to like and subscribe. Help your boy get to 10,000. Let me know down below if you have any questions. Maybe you want me to test out some more builds for you. Either way, I'll see you in the next one. Foxy out.